Good morning. Good morning, friends. How are you today? Esther Kuganja Dedoin here. How was your week? So every week, Saturday, we come here to share with you values for character development, values that can help us grow personally. And starting with this week, we decided to branch still on values, but now specifically measuring on those paradigms, ideals that are healthy and good for personal and societal growth. So that's like a sub-series or a new series, whichever way you can look at it. That's what we're starting. So hope you'll be joining us and you'll be sharing with us and enjoying. Hello, Brother Johnson. How are you today? Thanks for joining us. So whoever is joining us, thank you for making this time. Kindly share on your timeline so that your friends can also see and benefit from the talk. We are going to talk about patriotism. Patriotism. Yes. We rarely hear of that word, but let's explore that term and see how it can help us grow, mature, and be responsible so that our societies can be better. So I'm looking forward to reading your contributions and sharing. So let it not be only me sharing. I believe many people on the platform know so much more than I do. So come out with your knowledge. Let's share with friends and let's build our nations, our continents. Yeah. Okay, so our time is up. So I will start. Hello, Brother Daniel. Thanks for joining me. All of us here on the platform. Good morning. And you're welcome. Please kindly share on your timeline and let your friends also know about this talk. Hello, June. How are you? Hope you've been well. We need to catch up one of these days to discuss. So thanks for joining us. As always, thank you for being there. So, patriotism. What do you understand by that term? I want to read your comments. Please type what you understand by the word patriotism. So we are beginning a branch of values or ideals which we've termed paradigms for personal and societal growth. Things that can help us grow personally, and also when we grow personally, our societies grow as well. Yeah, so that's the branch we are taking on from this week onwards. But it's all still based on values as well. So patriotism, what is that? Okay, so I went to Wikipedia and I looked up the meaning or the definition of patriotism, and it is that feeling of love and devotion and sense of attachment to a homeland and alliance with other citizens who share the same sentiment. So it is a feeling of love, devotion, and sense of attachment to a homeland and alliance with other citizens who share the same sentiment. So the nation that feeds you, the nation of your birth, or the nations where you are right now, whose prosperity affects your prosperity. That's the homeland. Okay, so we are talking about us developing a love for that nation or nations, because people can have more than one. Okay, more than one homeland. So being devoted to that nation. What pains that nation pains you. Okay, and when that nation is doing well, you feel overjoyed yourself. That's the kind of attitude you want to have and to promote. I know many of us have it, and sometimes we don't realize it. But many other people may not care. And this message we're passing on is that we should really care. We should start to care. That is part of maturity. That is part of responsibility, as a citizen of that nation. So patriotism is the love and respect for one's nation. That's simply put. Okay. It's not about blindly following the beliefs and cultural values of the country, but it's taking pride in one's origin and the work for the prosperity of that nation. So you're interested in the cultural beliefs, you're interested in the way of life, you're interested in the, whatever is affecting that nation, whatever is going on. You take pride in its, development, in its, in its maybe when it performs well, that's your pride. That's the kind of attitude you want to have and to promote. And also you're working towards its prosperity, and that can work through many ways. If you have a business there, you're contributing, you're paying your taxes, maybe you're doing projects in that nation. All those show your devotion to that nation, your contribution to the development of that nation. Patriotism. Okay. So patriotism is very important, and especially people that have a burden for youth. This is something that we really that has to be born in our youth, because even from childhood, so that it helps them grow up to be responsible citizens. Youth that know the history of their nation, that love their nation. Okay, but unfortunately, many times when people are talking about their nations, it ends up being negative talks. Oh, this nation, oh, these people, oh, yeah, poverty everywhere, poverty here, poverty in the roof, poverty in the ground, everywhere is poverty. Look, whatever you confess upon a nation or an item, that's what you realize. Whatever you focus on is actually what you realize in life. That's another law we have to identify, that if you always focus on negatives, guess what? Negatives will be attracted towards you. While other people are prospering in that nation, you will not see that prosperity. So I think some youth have been put off when they hear talks, this country, you can't prosper, there are no jobs, there's no employment, the government is bad, Very soon the youth began to think, okay, maybe another country is better, maybe I should go somewhere else. When they call for volunteers, maybe to clean up a street or to do some community work, they're not bothered. Why? Because a negative seed has been sown in them. But if we raise the value of patriotism in our youth, no matter the negatives they see, they instead of commenting and narrating the negatives, they are thinking, how can we solve the problem? How can we make our situation better? How can we contribute to our nation, our motherland? That is the attitude. That's the paradigm we want to promote. I want to hear your comments. What do you think? Okay. So when we talk and children are listening to our conversations, let our words be words that build, not destroy. Let our words be words that heal a nation, not hurt her. Let it be words that are blessing, not cursing. Even if the situation is bad, yes, we see the situation is bad, but there's hope. This is what we can do. So that's the kind of talk that we should always be encouraging, so that our children, our youth, don't end up having negative attitude, feeling negative, no attachment, no love for their nations. Okay. And you may say, but Esther, yeah, I love my nation, but I don't love my government. I know that would come up as a question. But patriotism, to be patriotic, you must love your nation, right? Its ways of life, its ideals, its cultures, its people. But you don't have to love the government. You have to separate the two. Okay, the culture, the people is different. So patriots may not support everything that their government does if they don't agree, if they disagree with them. Okay, so if this is the case, what is needed from a patriotic person is to air their points, to let their voices be heard. If someone believes that the government's actions go against the ideals of the nation, then the patriotic thing to do is to tell the government that what it is doing is wrong, not blindly supporting it. So being patriotic is also being active in whatever is going on in your nation. Yeah, so when the government's doing great things, you hail it, you support it. When you disagree with something, air out your view. Talk to your leaders. Yeah, so I think that's, instead of keeping quiet and not doing anything, to be patriotic, because you love your nation, you are devoted, you want to make a contribution. That's what we are driving at. Okay, not to be passive but active. Mark Twain, who is an American writer, he was an American writer, a humorist, entrepreneur, and publisher. He made a funny comment. He said, "Patriotism is supporting your country all the time and your government when it deserves it." He was a guy of humor. But anyway, he's bringing a point that being patriotic doesn't mean, okay, you support everything that the government does. But yeah, you love the nation, you are devoted to your nation. At the same time, you're making your voice be heard, you're making a contribution. You're saying, oh, okay, the government's doing this, but I think maybe this would have been better. So even that calls you to join leadership, join government, join local leadership, join politics, and make a contribution. Yeah, that is part of being patriotic. So how can we be patriotic? Number one here that I had is, let us learn to know where we live. Learn about where you live. It could, you'll be amazed. Hello, Brother Mose. Hello, Pastor Ian. Tomosime, how are you today? Thanks for joining us. We are talking about patriotism. I would like to hear your views on that. So, how are we to be patriotic? One thing I've said is learn about where you live. Many times you just go through life, as long as you have a job, everything about your family is going on well. You don't know anything that's happening in the nation. You have to know, because if anything is in chaos, you'll be affected. Learn to know, learn about where you live. Discover the history of your nation and how it grew to be where it is today. History is important. Find facts that make you proud about your nation. Read about your nation's past leaders. Know about your national emblems, what they represent, so that when you talk about your nation, those are things that come out. And because these emblems were established by the forefathers, the founding fathers of nations, they carry strong, deep messages. And many times you may discover that actually we've derailed from those messages. So going back to learn these things keeps us in focus. Okay, so that you know what your nation represents, what your nation stands for. And you walk and walk by those values as well. So discover everything that is unique to your nation. In fact, history should be made one of the most interesting subjects in schools, because this is where children learn about their past, their nations, how it came to be. And even students of history can pick and see the weaknesses of the nation. What are the roots of those weaknesses? And how can we overcome them so that history does not repeat itself? So let's learn about where we live. That is key. Number 2, let us stay informed. Let us stay and be knowledgeable as much as possible about what it means to be a member of the nation, of the country where you live. So read about the constitution, read about the budgets. It's important to stay up to date on what your country is doing in the here and now. Read relevant books and articles. And especially in the nations of Africa, we really are behind on this because the culture of reading needs to be revived. You know, when you go back to Africa, you see the places that used to be libraries are now offices or churches or mosques, or it was destroyed. Libraries are only found in schools. So we need to revive the culture of reading by establishing public libraries where it's a free resource, free center that people who have some spare hours can go in there. Youth that are idle can go in there and just read, immerse in knowledge. That's how we can develop our people. We can empower them through knowledge. That's a good opportunity. If you put books there of history, people can come and read. We need to be and to stay informed about our nations. Thirdly, I want to read a comment here by June Bugenyi. She says, national transformation is facilitated by patriots who give themselves to work on the challenges they see in their nations because of the love they have for their nation. That's true. That's true. So people who give up their lives, who stand for a cause, yeah, those are true patriots. They love their nation. They're thinking of the future so that future generation will find a properly organized nation. That's so true, John. Thank you. So another way that we can develop patriotism is obeying all laws, national laws, and paying our taxes. Yeah, we need to obey laws because laws are there to make society orderly. For example, if the traffic laws were not there, everyone wants to have, priority, on the way, and that will cause accidents, that will be disorderly. But if we all play our part in obeying the laws, then the society will be more organized. The society will be more developed, safe. You follow the laws of safety, health and safety. Yeah, it will be a happy environment. People will be happier. And also the issue of paying taxes is important because how does the government develop a nation? It's through those funds that everyone contributes that they use to, facilitate health centers, facilitate roads network, facilitate, cleaning the environment, Yeah. So we need to pay our contribution. Okay. And I know someone will say, oh, but I don't trust our government. I don't, why should I pay tax when they're not doing anything? And we don't see anything they're doing. Well, you may not see. I think that's a challenge to you to always go and ask your leader, the member of parliament, what have you done this month? In the last year I paid this tax. What has it done? So maybe it's your responsibility to find out. But other nations, at the end of every financial year, they send each person a statement, detailing the amount of tax you've paid in that year and what that tax has done. One percentage of that maybe went to international development. That percentage went to waste or recycling, waste management. Another percentage we helped the homeless or less privileged. They break it down, and that is so encouraging because they're accountable. So I think this is a point where our leaders, our government should have to really show accountability. If you want your citizens to be patriotic, the government, you have to encourage them by being accountable. Yeah. So it's not only a responsibility from them, but if they want to trust it, if they want to really support the development of the nation, then as a government, we have to support them. We have to show accountability, how the funds have been used. And that's how you win people's trust. Okay. Because any developed society is also run on trust. Okay. Hello, Eli. Brother Eli Mwende, thanks for joining us. We are talking about patriotism, so please type your contributions. I want to hear your views on that. So another thing we can do is, let's find causes that we believe in. Let's find causes that we believe in. If we look at history, okay, Martin Luther Jr., who found a cause in fighting racism in America. He stood for that because he knew once that is eradicated, the societies will be better, people will be happier. And guess what? He lost his life in the process. That's a true patriotic. A true patriot. Yeah. So find causes that you believe in and be active in them. So what are the issues affecting your country today? Find out. What are the most important problems that are facing your nation? Find out. And have a say. Understand what is going on and get involved. Sometimes it's just to do with, okay, you have a free day or somewhere, you volunteer. Okay, sometimes the public is invited to attend sessions in Parliament, and that's a good opportunity to go there, meet leaders, have your contribution heard. It's also good to understand the rights, the freedoms, and the responsibilities contained in our constitutions. Okay? This guides you in the way you are, being active and proactive about the causes that you believe in. Could be protection of women, youth development, environment, keeping our environment clean, and, it could be something to do with wildlife, tourism, how can we make our nation attractive to the tourist industry, things like that. Or it can be teaching our youth values, that's in education. Find a cause you believe in and participate in that. Find other people with the same burden and do something together. Yeah? That comes from an attitude of patriotism, to force someone to do that. If you see that your nation is suffering from corruption, find a way of fighting it by not participating. Because if each person stops to participate, guess what? The people enjoying will lose, and they'll lose interest eventually. So it's the people that are bending in obedience to this corruption that are promoting it. Because if you don't give your money, then the people will not be greedy and asking for it. That's how we fight corruption, one person at a time. So there is another quote I have here by Joe Biden. So Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. was an American politician who served as the 47th Vice President of the United States of America from 2009 to 2017. He had this to say: fighting corruption is not just good governance, it is self-defense, it is patriotism. Anyone who's involved in this is a true patriot. So do you love your nation? You see that corruption will not develop any society, because the money that's supposed to be something is going to personal pockets. We need to act. Good example is, if you've broken the rule of a traffic, why give the police officer money to silence you and let you go? It shows that you don't realize that you've broken the law. The best thing to do is to accept the fault. Because sometimes when you don't accept you're wrong, you always think that you get away with it. But once you accept the wrong, pay the penalty, guess what? Next time you'll be careful. And that's what we need to promote. Everyone on the roads, especially in Africa, to be careful. So if you don't go through punishment, there's no way you'll be chastised. Because each time you give a tip and you go away with it, you give a tip. Because we are the ones destroying our own nations. We don't love our nation. This is the nation that is feeding you. This is the nation that is promoting your business. This is the nation that you're going to leave behind for your children and grandchildren. And if you don't put it right, guess what? The blame is on us. We need to put our nations right, at least for the next generation. What is June is saying? An example of good cause in a nation is Character Aroma Project in Uganda, raising value-based leaders. That's true. Thank you, June. Yeah, Character Aroma Project, that's what they're trying to do. Yeah, so if you want to support Character Aroma Project, go to www.characteraromaproject.org and see how you can be part of that cause, part of that project to build the society. Okay. Another thing is, to be patriotic is to participate in local government. So if you care about the place you live, get involved at the local level first. Because you can't just jump and you are known at national level. You have to start small, through your neighbors, then from your neighbors through your community, then from your community, local leaders, your village, your district, and that's how you grow. Your region in that place, and then the nation. So get involved on the local level. Vote or find a way to let your voice be heard. Many times, the people themselves have so many good ideas that can develop a nation, but because they're not speaking out, these ideas die with them. Is it Pastor Miles Monroe who said that the richest place on the earth is the graveyard, because people die with so many ideas that were never unraveled. So connect with your leaders, befriend them, and as you meet, maybe having a tea at home or somewhere, say your views and let them take your ideas to Parliament. Okay? Let your voice be heard. Talk to your town or local leaders or elders and find out who makes decisions around you. Yeah, participate in your local government. That is key. And you should know that it's your right to vote as well. Yeah? People should be running to vote, because by voting, you are telling people that, okay, I'm exercising my right, I'm contributing to the decisions of this nation. But you find countries where they are advertising, voting, coercing people to go and vote, giving bribes to people. It should be coming from your heart. This is my nation. I'm responsible for the future of this nation. Let me cast my contribution. Okay, another thing is to display your pride if you want to. That's another way of showing patriotism. I like nations that, if there are national holidays, they put flags on their cars, they put flags outside their windows of their homes and offices. People wear national costume or t-shirts, all those designer clothes that show the flag of the nation, that represent the nation. Some make mugs. Yeah, mugs, you can use for tea with the flag of the nation. And some countries, these things are not even done. The only car that has a flag is when the minister is passing or the president is passing. Other people are not bothered. All things are on the street, but no one buys them. Why? Because we haven't developed a love for our nation, our country. We're just living for ourselves. We don't know that living for yourself is so short-lived. It doesn't go far. When you love your nation, it means you love your children, you love your grandchildren, because you want to leave them a better place than you found it. So, yeah, if you want, display your love for the nation through those things. And it's very cheap, buying a mug and having tea in your mug with a flag of your nation. Doesn't cost a lot. So displays are the cheapest form of patriotism. However, a symbol or wearing the flag or putting a flag on your house, it doesn't mean that you're patriotic. Okay? It doesn't really make you patriotic. So the symbol in itself doesn't mean that the person is patriotic. But that is why we should be careful that if someone has not displayed their patriotism, we shouldn't judge them that they are not. So that's just another way of showing love for the nation. But if someone hasn't shown it, that doesn't mean they're not patriotic. Just wanted to chip that in there. And lastly is we need to encourage the media and entertainment industry, because the role of media and entertainment is key in developing a nation of patriots. We sometimes undermine the power and influence of both the media and entertainment industry on the nation. The TVs, the radio stations, storytelling, newspapers, film and drama, music and sports, etc. They all play a huge role in instilling patriotism in the people, in the citizens of the nation. The cinema, for example, can be used to promote culture, traditions, and history. Therefore, we need to support the media and entertainment industry, because they have a great role to play in achieving this great feat. Okay, so in conclusion, I'll just say that, sometimes they say love is blind, but that's not what we are saying with patriotism. We are saying that love your country with open eyes. Every country has its weaknesses, and we have to admit to these weaknesses. At the same time, every country has strength. So let us learn to promote the positives and work on the negatives in order to create a better future. Okay? And we have to remember that no one nation is superior than another. Nations are just different. Loving a nation does not mean you should ignore or stay silent about its failures, but voice it out. It is important for us to be informed and stay informed about the place where we are living, the nation where we live, or the nations that we call homeland. Love your nation for its cultural heritage, its successes, and its unique character. By doing so, societies become stronger together, which promotes growth and development of any nation. So we see developed nations, read their history. They love their nations. Patriotism is part of the key. So let us learn from that and develop our continent, especially the continent of Africa, because that's most of our target audience here. Let us learn from other nations and also develop Africa by raising citizens that are patriotic about their homeland. So those were my small few words. It was nice being with you here. Thanks for your contributions. Thanks for coming and listening. Thank you for, sparing your time, part of your time to be with us. So have a blessed weekend. Until we meet again. God bless. Bye. Bye.